first ever All-Star football team when he was selected in 1971. And he won 3 All-Irelands in a row with Galway in the mid-1960s. Yeah, he wore that number 12 shirt in all 3 finals, 64 to 66. Seamus Leydon, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
And you've chosen as your day the 1966 final, going for the 3 in a row.
That's right.
Did you appreciate then how big it was, or do you appreciate it more now?
I think we appreciate it more now, yeah. We had played a lot of football then, but you know, once you won a final, it was put behind you, and you had something to aim for the following year. So you'd appreciate it more now, especially since it hasn't been achieved since. The only team that have bettered it are the great Kerry team, and they had 4 in a row.
And they weren't too bad.
They weren't too bad.
No, they weren't.
No.
Now, I was surprised to hear that going into the final, given you'd won the 2 previous years' finals, that you were underdogs going into the final against Meath.
We were, yeah. There were good reasons for that. We had to go to New York, or we went to New York to play a league final, a real league final against New York, and it was a 2-leg affair. And you can imagine what Gaelic Park was like at the end of May. Small pitch and rock hard pitch as well. Very tough matches. Took their toll. We came back and we had a buy into the Connacht final that year. We got a dispensation from the Connacht Council. Very lucky to get out of Castlebar. A Sir Dunphy from the sideline. One you rarely see as good a kick, and we scraped through. We're not impressive against, I think it was Cork in the semi, and Meath were impressive on the other side, so we were outsiders. Yeah.
And yet you ended up winning it comfortably enough. And the scenes at the end were, it seemed like mayhem looking at the pictures on the field.
That's true, yeah. We got off to a great start. But by the way, there was the county final in Galway was played 2 or 3 weeks before that final, which wouldn't happen today now. And the county players on both Griffin's team and the Dunmore team seemingly were flying in that county final. And some very shrewd individuals made a lot of money back in Galway at very fancy prices.
Enda Collar collecting the cup there. You didn't concede much in the final.
No, we didn't. We got off to a magic start. We were 5 or 6 points up, and then we closed the game off with Matty. Matty got the goal halfway through the first half, and I think the score at half-time was 1 goal to 7 points.
What about your own game? How did you play in it?
I felt I had a fair good game that day, yeah. I did a lot of rambling around the place, not staying in my position at left half.
There's the goal now.
That's the goal, yeah. That's the goal, yeah.
Matty deadly from 6 yards.
I had a very tough opponent there in Red Collier now. And you know, he's a bit like, he's a Velcro man. So he's
stuck to you.
But he played a lot of ball as well. But I was quite happy with my game that day, yeah.
And you got a couple of scores, which is always nice for a forward in the final.
Yeah.
Well, we can see some of the game here now. This is you getting away from red. It's a very different, the terrace behind the goals, it's all very different now, Croke Park,
very different, yeah, very different.
You had a bit of a sidestep, hadn't you?
Yeah, I had a bit of a one, yeah.
Brian O'Driscoll-esque. And you used the open punch, I see. You all do.
Oh, that was a fisted punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, getting the ball away, not out of your... You throw it before you punch it.
Oh, you throw it before you punch it, yeah. Unlike today, that's...
And what do you think of the modern pass?
I think there's too much of it.
Do you?
I do, yeah, I do. I think the game needs a total overhaul, in fact. You know, if you look at the championship to date, it's very poor.
What would you do? What would you...
Oh, I'd be very radical.
Would you?
I would, yeah, I would. I'd go to... I think I'd go to 13 aside. I'd go back then to 60, or even 12 aside. Go back to 60 minutes. I'd consider introducing the mark. And a lot of other things.
Because you are radical.
That's why no one will ever listen to what I have to say. But I think it does need a radical overhaul. It's having a bad year.
No, well, we'll see. And we'll get your comments on the current Galway match in a few minutes. But in the meantime,